My name is Kelly Flesh. Um, I'm from Anaconda, Montana, and I'm currently in Utah. And I'm making this recording about something that happened to me on Friday night to Saturday morning in the emergency room. I was there for 9 hours. Let me start at the beginning. I came to Utah on Sunday, um, the 15th, 16th, whatever. And I came down, and my plan was to do dispersed camping and spend a couple months with my son. Dispersed camping is free camping. I have everything that I needed. I'm completely self-sufficient. I have everything I need. Um, well, when I first got here, I went to the first dispersed camping site, and it was in a field. There was no shade, no anything. I do have a chair with an umbrella, but I think what happened was the UV light came through. It's a black umbrella, and so I think the light came through, and I got a severe burn all over the top of my body, my back especially. Um, I felt that the first day I was there on Saturday. And then on Monday, I finally had to leave. I couldn't handle it anymore. It didn't matter how much water I drank, or I just couldn't get myself cool. I was really uncomfortable, and I could not cool myself down. And so I decided to go to the Walmart parking lot. I wanted to go down and see a little further south. So my son's in Draper, and so I was down in American Fork. And I decided to stay at that Walmart for a couple days. You can stay outside in the parking lot. And on the second day I was there, um, it was 2 o'clock in the morning about, and I got up and I shot into Walmart because I was on fire. I was on fire. I needed fans. I needed everything. Um, I was just on fire. My head, it felt like all of my internal organs were just cooking and sizzling. It was the most horrible feeling, and I couldn't drink. I've eaten maybe, 5 meals in the last 7 days. I'm not eating. It's just, I couldn't bring the temp down. So I went in and I bought a couple fans with batteries, and that was $60. And I'll tell you why I'm telling you the price point later. And so I bought those, and I went back out to the car, and I turned it on full AC with both the fans on full blast for 3 hours, and I sat there and I still could not get my heat down on the inside. I mean, the top of my head felt a little warm, but it was nothing like what I was feeling on the inside. Um, so then, during that Walmart, when I went in to go get the fans, by the way, I almost fainted right there in the aisle. So that will be on, because it just was like, whew, the cold air, and then the sickness of the sunburn. Anyhow, so it was the next day, so this would put me at day 3 at Walmart. And it's about 6 o'clock at night. And I hadn't been able to drink any water at all. And all of a sudden I felt something like drop in my pelvis. I have no idea what it was. I don't even want to speculate. I don't know. But as soon as that dropped, my stomach dropped. I got nauseous. And then I got, I got nauseous, and then I don't even know how to describe it. I guess I don't know how to describe it. But I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. And so it took me quite a few tries, but I finally got up the process of dehydration on a human. And it said that when you were at the point where I was at that moment, I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I had no energy at all. I all I did was lay there with my mouth open and my eyes open. That's all I could do. And when it said that emergency help needed immediately, so I called 911, and then I flipped back over to the article because I wanted to show the ambulance when they got there what was wrong with me. Um, well, as I was waiting for the ambulance, my phone slipped out of my hand. It fell on the floor. Um, and so when the police officer came, he said, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't anything. I just had tears streaming out of my eye. I couldn't do anything. And he's like, and then he called in and he goes, "I need an ambulance. I have a 50s, a woman in her 50s, and I don't know what's wrong with her." And so he kept trying to talk to me, and I kept trying to talk to him. I kept trying to say dehydration, but you can't say dehydration. I could barely get one word out. I could barely get a word out. And so the ambulance came, and they came over. There was 3 or 4 of them, I don't remember. And they scooted the gurney by my car door. I was sitting in the driver's seat, and they said, "Get on the gurney," and I couldn't move. My leg couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move, and they kept saying, "Get on the gurney, get on the gurney." I couldn't get on the gurney, and they stood there for a long time, at least 10 minutes, staring down at me. And there's cops just staring at me. Everybody, I mean, there's at least 15 people around, just staring at me like I'm an idiot. And I'm just making this up. This is just a fun thing. And finally, I was able to move one of my feet out. And then I kind of fell over, and the guy goes, "We're going to have to pick you up and put you in unless you get on the gurney." And I mustered enough energy to go, "Ugh!" to tell him to pick me up and put me on the gurney. I can't. So what did he do was I kind of fell on the floor, or on the ground, and he picks me up and puts me on the gurney. The gurney is shaped like this. The sides have the rails. I was like this against the rail. My mouth was down here, folded up against the sheet that it was pushed up against, and I was kitty corner like this. And the one guy says, why is she like that?" And she goes, "I don't know." Or he goes, "I don't know, that's how she landed." And I stayed like that with my face in the sheet until we got to the hospital. And then they're saying, the guy goes, "Oh, look what I found." And he shook my one of my pill bottles that I put a day's worth in. And he goes, "Yeah, so there's a history here." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh my God, they're thinking I'm a drug addict." And I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. I was just crying. So I get to the hospital. I'm at stop.